The year was 1954. Elvis Presley had just released his first single. Marilyn Monroe and Joe DiMaggio were married, and The Tonight Show debuted on NBC television. That year, a young, fashion-savvy entrepreneur named Harry Rosen and his brother Lou opened their first store on Parliament Street in Toronto's Cabbagetown. With a $500 loan and a vision of what Canadian men's fashion should be, they willed the Harry Rosen brand into existence. Soon, Harry Rosen was the talk of the town.
Very few people really understand what Harry did there. He went to New York in, I guess, around 57, and he bought a suit. In New York on Madison Avenue at that time, the natural shouldered look in clothing was what the young people were wearing. Harry loved the look, and he bought a suit and he brought it back here, and he gave it to Copley, who was our first supplier at that time, and asked them to replicate it. And what was amazing was this very quickly became the look that the young, smart businessmen in Toronto aspired to. And they flocked in droves to this little offbeat store on Parliament Street to get the Harry Rosen look.
By 1961, growing popularity led to a much larger Richmond Street location to serve the fast-growing legion of loyal Bay Street businessmen more efficiently, which, as Harry knew, is what it's all about.
Talk about a bold move. I mean, some people moved to a store twice as big, but he moved to a store that was about 10 times as large. That was our Richmond Street store, which he opened up and suddenly became even a bigger success. It was a remarkable story of entrepreneurial will.
The Harry Rosen Company was built on two simple ideas: love of the customer and an encyclopedic knowledge of the tastes of each and every client. The customer was king. With Harry's undeniable confidence in his stock and trade and his natural flair for innovation, he offers up the first of a long and illustrious history of marketing campaigns.
In 1962, they started the Ask Harry campaign. The first ad he paid 2 suits for. He started advertising full page in the Globe every Tuesday. Now this was unheard of for a relatively small store. People started saying, Ask Harry. Whatever it was, Ask Harry. And Harry became the iconic expert in menswear and men's quality issues. And people from out of town read his ads.
With growing national demand for the Harry Rosen look, the store's Canada-wide expansion was a fait accompli. It was in the nation's capital, rightly enough, that Harry Rosen took its place as Canada's brand name in men's fashion.
I remember going to the opening in Ottawa. It was in 1983. What a great party. What a great celebration. The Prime Minister welcoming us. It was a remarkable era, and this expansion across the country to becoming a national institution.
The 80s dials it up. More locations, customers. Harry introduces the Ralph Lauren collection to Canada. The great European labels followed. Among them, Zegna, Armani, and Brioni.
And at that time, Harry went to Italy. He was a real innovator in bringing in European quality and fashion, but at the same time, a great supporter of Canadian makers.
The crowning achievement came in 1987 with the opening of the 32,000 square foot flagship store on Toronto's Bloor Street. Into the 90s, Canada's innovator in men's clothing becomes a pioneer in customer relations marketing.
We were such an innovator in the 90s to take that and really be the first organization to start computerizing client records, the first real people to do CRM. I don't think of us as having really changed since the 50s. The love and passion and desire to do right in advising your customer that Harry started in the 50s, that's who we are today.
Along with the growing appetite for the Harry Rosen look comes the demand for Harry Rosen's fashion insights.
Sitting on a balcony in Florence in about 1997 with Harry, and Harry sharing a vision with me of creating a new magazine that would talk intelligently to men about menswear and men's lifestyles. That vision became Harry Magazine. It's an institution. It's regarded by all as the standard for a lifestyle magazine in menswear.
Harry Rosen remains a proud, thriving, made-in-Canada success story, and for 60 years and counting, part of retail history. Ceaselessly innovative, with a distinguished history of firsts in retail fashion. It's now embarking on the company's largest capital expansion program yet, increasing its retail footprint by 40% over 5 years. And through it all, the most valuable Harry Rosen commodity will always be its people.
We're really a family. This is a company of hardworking people that care about a dream, a vision. The sum of the parts creates a much bigger whole. There's a culture here, there's a sense of family. It's that wonderful combination of intelligent, hardworking veterans and young people that give us such a joie de vivre.
Fueled by that joie de vivre, the remarkable has become the expected for this distinguished and highly admired operation, which began in that small shop on Parliament Street by a very well-turned-out man named Harry.